Hello, my tremendously intelligent followers and itinerant listeners from parts unknown. I'm TychoCelchuuu, and this is a Company of Heroes 2 Noobcast. We go through a game where that I played against someone bad enough to lose badly to me, and I point out all their mistakes so that we don't have to make those sorts of mistakes playing in the future. I am, as always, the Soviets with my combat engineer squad and my soon-to-be everywhere conscript spam. And my opponent today is I Should Be at Work, and I Should Be at Work has built a infantry company, and we have grenadiers coming out. So you know what I realized? These are noob casts, so we can fast forward until they do something newbie, right? I've been experimenting with capping these points close to my base before rushing to the fuel, which I previously did because I figure I passed through them anyways, might as well spend a few more seconds to cap them. And I have to link up the fuel eventually, so whatever. That's what I do. I Should Be at Work, I don't think has made any mistakes yet. Has bought 2 grenadiers right off the bat, and we'll have to see whether he goes for an MG42 or a grenadier. It looks like a 3rd grenadier, so maybe a little heavy on the grenadiers. Sometimes you might want to think about going to 2 grens and then an MG, especially on a map like Pripyat where you can lock down stuff pretty well. There's only 3 places your opponent's going to be going: top, middle, or bottom, and middle's super easy to lock down. Top, you're probably not going to get there in time, so if you want, you can go bottom and protect your VP and your fuel. But whatever, I don't think there's a right or wrong choice. So good move, soft retreating these Pioneer squads instead of hitting the retreat button, bringing them out of there. The question is, what's he going to do with them? It looks like they're going to go the long way around and cap some stuff, or I don't know. We'll have to figure out if that was worth soft retreating, because what I might have thought about doing is instead of going back there, you could just sort of run through the bullets and head down here to the south. He does need to start capping that soon, or even run past and just back here, but that's probably dangerous. So I'm actually much less impressed now that he's taken like 20 minutes to do anything with these guys. Probably would have been faster to retreat them back to base. They would have taken less damage retreating back to base, and then they could have run here, and I think it would have been a shorter trip from here to there. With the speed boost from the retreat. So we have our first real engagement going on. 3 squads of grenadiers here in the middle. This is why you should have maybe thought about Mr. I Should Be at Work building a MG42 at some point, because if there was, instead of a 4th squad of grenadiers coming up, an MG42 coming up, you could convert this into an instant victory. Instead, what he's done is push off my 1 conscript squad here in the middle. I have 2 conscript squads coming in for pincer movement if I so choose. Right now I'm just focusing on capturing the map, and we notice this focus on capturing the map has gotten me most of the map. I have these guys who I'm chilling out here. I want them to capture this point. We'll see if he should be moving in good now to stop. And no, don't stop right here. Move into the capture radius to stop me from taking this point. This is bad, bad, bad. Oh, I retreat right before I get it because I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. But really, if I were any good at this game, I would have captured this point. That would have been very bad for him. He would have had to decap. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. See, look, he has to decap it anyways. That's an interesting change. I'm actually glad they added that. Now the difference between me retreating a millisecond too early and not is actually not so big. So yes, he now has to decap this. So the sooner he could have gotten into this zone to stop me from capping it, the better. I lose a lot of people on this retreat, so that's pretty sweet for him. But aside from that, he's got too much clumped up here. These people need to be spread out and capturing things. It's good that he's spreading out here and capturing things, but unfortunately, if his pioneers finally get down here and just run into me and get hit. So again, if we look at the map captured, I'm doing a lot better. And if we look at the resources, Jesus Christ, on stilts, walking around, handing out balloons to children, but he has to bend down really far because he's on stilts. This is ridiculous. He's floating. 400 manpower and 20 fuel. Finally dumped some of that into escalate to battle phase 1, which gets you up to tier 2, because numbers... No, it gets you up to tier 1. You start at tier -1, go up to tier 0 with your infantry company, then up to tier 1 with your mechanized company. So, okay, that's how it works. Another engagement going on here. Big mistake by him just standing straight in this bridge. What he's doing is focus firing my combat engineers, so that's a good idea. It's fine for these people to focus fire the combat engineers. These guys are just getting roasted alive. And the problem is I'm going to be able to merge with these combat engineers once they get down to a low number of people. I can just put my conscripts into that squad, and you see I just did that just now, and then I retreat the conscripts. Brand new combat engineer squad, and they can move up and take as much damage as they want because they're going to be backed up by 2 conscripts here. He should again be retreating. Don't wait and let flamethrowers come in and shoot you. Just because you're in cover doesn't mean you're going to win. You need to pull back. They'll take a lot of damage because they're weak, and he would have done much better had he not let himself be forced off, that 2-man squad forced off, and now he's going to take some damage in this 4-man squad, because again I'm going to merge, and again the squad is built back up, and now he's going to get caught in a horrific pincer. I'm going to do terrible damage, and he's running away. So right now floating 570 manpower, not a ton of fuel, because he just dumped the fuel into the leaked and mechanized company, so hopefully this manpower he's floating he's going to turn into something later. Big mistake, I think, not getting an MG42, ever. You want an MG42, typically, as the Oster, unless you have a great reason not to get it, and my opponent's great reason is to float a bunch of manpower, so no, that's not okay. The thing is, the way this game works is that banking your manpower is not going to be great unless you start getting up to 25 pop cap, and once you get beyond 25 pop cap, then you start taking the hit with the upkeep cost, but until you get there, there's no reason to float resources, so he should probably have bought an MG42 at some point. He could even sacrifice a squad, like a Grenadier squad or something, because right now this manpower is not doing him any good. So if he got above the pop cap by building that MG42, it would maybe even be worth it to sacrifice a Grenadier squad. I'm going to go that far. He probably doesn't have to. I mean, it's probably much more worth it just to build the MG42 in the first place. But now we finally have some manpower dumped into some stuff. He's getting some Panzer Grenadiers, so this is a thing a lot of new players seem to be doing, focusing on very heavy infantry strategies. Gotta say, it's not the greatest in Company Heroes 2, okay? You're eventually going to need vehicles. I actually go super infantry heavy because I go all the way to T-34s before I start spamming the vehicles, but you can't stay infantry forever, okay? You either need to quick tech up to tanks, maybe stop for AT guns along the way for your AT, but you can't just go infantry forever, or at least if you can, I haven't really seen it work for newer sorts of players. Maybe when you figure out some sort of innovative strategy or something, you can do that. If you're really good at the game, you can do that, but typically you're going to want some vehicles sooner rather than later. Half-tracks, popular, scout cars, popular, probably light tanks, popular, just anything. Just vehicles is not going to be great. So if he had some vehicles right now, he would have forced me to get AT grenades. If he got more vehicles, he would have forced me to get AT guns and stuff. Right now, I can just buy infantry to my heart's content, go around capturing the entire map, and he's not even using his infantry force to get any sort of captain power. He's just moving around in a big blob. We need to be spreading out. You saw it very early in this match, and even right now, and all throughout this match, I'm losing a lot of fights, and I don't care, okay? I'll throw one conscript squad against like 2, 3, 4 grenadier squads, a fight I'm definitely going to lose. I'm guaranteed, destined to lose those fights. And I've been losing a lot of those fights, but it doesn't matter. I'm winning the war. I lose the battles to win the war because I tie up my opponent's entire army to get them busy fighting one squad. So obviously right now this is a fight I think I can win. If these three were in the fight, I couldn't win, but my opponent can't even make that happen. Big misread on my part, not realizing the grenade was coming in on here. But I can just, again, merge with these guys. So with my hit the dirt ability, he really can't put out the damage it's going to take to win this fight. So this is not one of those fights he should have lost in order to win the war, because he's not getting enough capping going on. He's wasting 2 squads here instead of 1, and even worse, he's only tied up 3 of my squads. So it's not like they would have been capping a lot of stuff had he not tied them up, right? The only things that are near enough to cap are these 2 points, which he could have just easily defended and done a much better job because he had these two squads capturing this point. So there was no need for him to fight over this middle VP. The only thing he would have lost by letting me be free here is that I could have moved on to try and capture stuff, but again, like I said, the only stuff I could have tried to capture is down here. So that's where he should have mounted his defense. You need to learn to pick your fights, learn to pick which ones to win and which ones to lose. It can often be good to lose a fight. Like I said, I've been losing a lot of fights, but it doesn't matter because I've captured the entire map and it's letting me take control. And so if you learn which fights to win and to lose, you'll be doing fine. And so how do you figure out which fights to win and which fights to lose? Well, you always want to keep your objectives in mind. Objective number 1, cap the entire map. Objective number 2, secure fuel to tech up. Objective number 3 and 4, get munitions and VPs. Those are less important. As time goes on, maybe they get more important, or if you have something specific in mind for the munitions, it's more important. But cap the map, cap the fuel, cut your opponent off from the fuel, cut your opponent off from the map. That's what your objective should be. and eventually the VPs, right? And so, and then of course with the fuel you want to be teching up and stuff. But just in terms of which battles to pick, which battles to win and which battles to lose, if you're going to lose a battle but it's going to stop your opponent from capping the map, or it's going to let you cap the map or cut the opponent off, stuff like that. So like this battle right here I'm losing. With these guys who hit the dirt, and I'm going to lose it again even though I'm bringing in these flamethrowers, because it's not like they can close, use their damage. And this battle I'm going to lose down here. I'll probably hit the dirt in a sec once I get into this capture radius. Yeah, I'll hit the dirt there. So again, I'm losing all these fights. I actually won this fight, so fuck you. But again, choosing my fights to lose, losing this fight. Why do I lose this fight? Because I know I'm going to tie up all these three, so they're not going to capture this VP or this fuel. And because I have this fuel, I'm able to tech up. I have my T-34 building right here, and I'm probably even building a T-34 from the T-34 building, the Tankovi Battalion Command. And yeah, so having had most of the map for most of the time, and having not lost very many squads, and having just come up against an opponent who has just a crap ton of infantry, doesn't understand that he needs vehicles or anything, things are going pretty well. And again, here's another fight I'm going to lose. I can't stick around quite as long with these flamethrower people, but resilient infantry are great for losing fights because they'll take a long time to lose a fight. These flamethrower infantry are not so great at losing fights because they go down pretty fast, although these guys have Vet 2, and Vet 2 gives you improved durability, so that's good. They're holding up a bit. So now I finally have my T-34 on the field. My opponent has either anticipated this or whatever. He's bought a AT gun, but it's not going to be enough unless he's good with the micro. And we're going to have to see whether that's the case or not. So again, blobbing his units. He wants to be securing the map, so at most he should have one unit capping this and maybe the rest spread out north. Here comes the T-34. My opponent's like, oh shit, I'm going to run over as many people as I can. I run over one guy, I eat a Panzerfaust, so that's unfortunate, but I should be able to repair pretty soon. I'm also down here cutting off his reinforcements to keep his infantry from moving in. I'm still trying to use my T-34 to squish. It's up to 3 kills right now. He's probably going to have to retreat pretty soon. Do I crush anybody here? It's harder to crush with the dead engine. So then that's the retreat on him. He gets a nice grenade kill on me, but it doesn't matter. I've hit the dirt. I'm down here. So he's done a good job capping this bottom of the map. It's probably going to be too little too late. The question is, can he kill my T-34 with the Pack 40? That would give him a way to get back into this game, but then there's another T-34, so he's fine. And I was actually, I ended up banking a bit of fuel this game because I didn't have time to retreat my engineers to build the T-34 building, so my opponent really just had a grace period where he shouldn't have been free from tanks. But now I'm just blitzkrieging with these T-34s. The slow one in the front is causing a traffic jam, but I move in and I'm able to gangbang the AT gun. It's dead. My opponent realizes there's no way he's taking out these 2 tanks, and he leaves the game. So the key takeaways here are, number 1, capture the entire map, and number 2, in service of that, figure out which battles you need to win, which battles you need to lose, which ones you need to fight, and where you need to allocate your units. Because misallocating your units, no matter how many battles you win, if you lose the war, then that's not going to work. Another lesson to learn, build an MG42, and another lesson to learn, get your ass to vehicles, just like you want to get your ass to Mars. So as I move the camera and we see the nice reflection of the sun on this water, I bid you adieu, and hopefully I will meet you someday in Company Heroes 2, and we can French kiss or whatever it is that you do in this video game.